All right, so I'm new to this whole thing. I've been making shorts, and then I realized, okay, well, maybe I need to make a video, an actual video to introduce like the whole purpose of this page or this channel. All right, so first of all, my name is Renee, and my channel is called Living with Limitations. Living with Limitations is something that I coined because I live with limitations, right? I have fibromyalgia. I've had it for going on 25 years. I wasn't diagnosed until 2008. And even then, it was told to me that it didn't exist, that the problems that I were having, I was making them up. Um, and I needed like basically therapy, or that I was depressed. Because I was depressed, I was in pain, and I had to fight hard to get my doctors to understand that I'm depressed because of the pain. Um, so it was a very long journey, and in time and on this channel, I do want to explain and explore my process, right? Like um, beginning symptoms, how they were managed, the processes that I went through, even the type of doctors that I went to, um, and then just how I am or was able to make it to this side of things, right? So I still have fibromyalgia. I have a million other ailments, right? Because fibromyalgia alone is just the umbrella. Under the umbrella is like 52 different ailments that um, come on for the ride. And in that, throughout the years of me trying to figure out what was wrong with me and getting help and on different medications and things like that. So I have a lot of side effects that just will never go away because of some of the medications that I have been on. And when you're in pain, you get to a point where you start to adjust the way you stand, you walk, you sit, you lay, right? And doing that over time has caused other issues. So I have like slip discs. I have issues with my long nerves. I have carpal tunnel. I have restless leg. I have maybe one day I should sit down and really write everything, but it's a lot of stuff, and to write them down is probably going to be a bit depressing, but maybe I will do that. If that is something that you guys would like me to do, that I'm willing to explore it. But I just know that on a regular day, I'm struggling with a myriad of issues. You got your brain fog. You have chronic fatigue. You have restless leg. You have concentration issues on top of having ADHD, right? So picture that. Sometimes sometimes my hearing isn't doing what it's supposed to be doing. My vision, my memory is trash. Um, it's a musculoskeletal disease. So it's just a million and one things that it is. But I will say this, that even though I suffer with these issues, I have throughout the years created or come up with ways to better manage my pain, to be able to live with it. It's just really hard living with an invisible illness, right? Because you can look at me for the most part and be like, oh, there's nothing wrong with her. I beg to differ, right? But I don't want to be identified as fibromyalgia, right? Because I am Renee. Um, I am out here making it look good, right? um, and I don't identify myself by my ailment, but I don't have a problem with being honest and open about the fact that I live in pain. Um, every day, I'm probably at a 6. Standard is a 5. Like waking up on a great day, my pain is a 5. So 5 is like no pain, or 0 to quote unquote the average person, right? I live at a 5. I can function up to maybe a 7 or an 8. Once I get about an 8, 9, you can see it in my face. When I get a 10, it's a wrap. I'm done. I'm down. I am somewhere else mentally, because you have to eat that pain, right? Because it's not an illness that will kill you per se in the long run, but it feels like death sometimes, right? And just give it a name. It just is what it is, right? So I do my best, and the point of this, I know I'm rambling, my bad. I have really bad anxiety, so when you see me like looking around, it's no one here, it's just me. Or like touching my face, little things that I may do that you may notice over time. It's just my anxiety, right? Another thing that is under this umbrella that I carry. So anyway, so my point of making this channel is just to get people together that are out here living with an invisible illness, right? And it doesn't have to be fibromyalgia. It can be whatever illness you're living with, right? Sickle cell, MS, it's a myriad of different ailments that people have that you can't see. But just because you can't see it does not mean it does not exist. And when people think of being disabled, they think that means that you can't function in today's society. That's not true. It's just that you can't function the same way every day. You have to know your limits. You have to go at each day with what you have, right? So I just wanted to get together a group of us where we can chat, we can talk, we can share things that we have been through, maybe giving advice for those that may have just been diagnosed or is having issues and don't know what it is and can ask questions, help with like knowledge, or just someone to talk to be able to joke around with and to understand where we're coming from, right? Because I can say some wild things about the pain that I live in, right? And some people could look at me like, that's strange. But sometimes you have to laugh to keep from crying. And that's what I do, right? I try my best to anyway. And I just want to be able to have a group of people that we can come together and we can connect and we can be all the things to each other. No judge zone. Just open and honest. So I know I'm rambling again. My apologies, but I guess it's just my little janky introduction to living with limitations, and just to know that not every ailment has to be visible, right? So come hang out with me sometimes. Let's get to know each other. Let's talk. Let's bond. Let's give the face of invisible illness. Give a face to invisible illnesses. Does that make sense? Okay. Talk to you guys soon. All right.